Hi, Pat. Could you just speak about Prop 12?
Yeah, sure. Thanks for having me here today. One of our main issues at National Pork Producers Council is around wanting a fix for Prop 12 and really focused on the patchwork that it creates. So you have California, who passed a law, and they said, hey, we want pigs to be raised in a certain way, which was unscientific. And so you'd say, well, hey, California can do what they'd like, right? But what they did was they don't raise any pigs in California, or almost none. And so what that did is it forces other states to be able to comply, because they were like 13 to 15% of our market. And so you didn't want to lose that market. You got a lot of Californians love pork. And so what we're trying to do as an industry is come up with a way, like if California wants to do that, they can do that for their own producers, but not force that on them. What that's called is a patchwork. So what we're concerned is like there could be 10 other states that decide, hey, we want just a little different standard. Well, that becomes a real challenge for us as producers to know what to build. And an example of that would be we have what they call an Ohio standard. About 2010, there was an agreement made that Ohio would change to a certain open pen gestation system, which is different than Prop 12. I converted, for example, I've got one barn that I converted in 2021 to that standard because I had to have that done by 2025. That was when that had to be done. Well, then in 2024, our processor was trying to meet the demand for California, and they said, hey, if you're interested, here's what we would like, but oh, by the way, you have to convert your building again. So all of a sudden, I've had to convert that building twice in 4 years, and so what has happened is, and I think that's when is unique, is like we have Prop 12, but I am concerned as a producer to have some certainty about like what could be these other states be requiring from me, and have to continue to change my buildings. And so that's really what the issue is. And so and we're right now, fortunately, we've got our language that we're for a fix for this in the House version of the Farm Bill. And now we're trying to get that language included in the Senate version of the Farm Bill, and so that's job one right now for our team and our staff. They're working diligently with those legislators and with the Senate Ag Committee and Senator Bozeman, and we are diligently working with their team to get that included. So that's a little bit of a description and kind of where we're at on Prop 12.
And the labor issue to do with the pork industry, could you talk about that?
So what we are looking for is another option for year-round labor for the pork industry. There's H2As that are popular in other industries, seasonal fruit production or seasonal crops. For example, we have an H2A visa. We have several people that come and help us with corn and soybeans, but we can't use them in the pork production side because they're only like a 9-month visa. And so what we're asking, and what we've worked with our Congressman G.T. Thompson has been a great champion for us, not only on Prop 12 but as well as in this labor, and so he's going to introduce a bill here at some point here, and it's designed to address that. So we are working diligently there to be able to advocate our producers, pork producers. In rural America, there's been an exodus of people, and so we need these visa programs in order to be able to continue. and they're great people and looking for employment, hard workers, and they want to come along. We prioritize hiring local people, but there's just not the volume of people that we need in order to be able to carry out and help us with our operations. So that's a little bit about labor and what we're working on there.
Can you tell me something about your farm, the size, and any uniqueness of it or unique issues you have, and where it's located?
Yeah, so we have. I'm from Ohio, so I'm north central Ohio, and we have a multi-generational farm. We have roughly about 30,000 sows in Ohio, and that's and we would have a mix of Prop 12 and other particular things. We also raise some antibiotic-free. We have one farm that's an antibiotic-free flow that our processor, Clemens Food Group, sees value in, has been able to market that, and so we work with them on that. So we partner very closely with them in Ohio. So,
And how long has the farm been in generation?
well, my great grandfather would have started. He would have been and bought our what we would call the oldest farm in our family in 1905. So we've been over 120 years last year. So.
And is there anything else you'd like to tell Swine Web that you're passionate about, or maybe an area that's unique even, or any?
No, we haven't. So as you may know, USMCA is up for a.
Can you describe what USMCA is?
USMCA is the agreement. It is an agreement between the U.S. and Canada and Mexico. So it's a trilateral agreement that has several components on it, but the main thing is around trade. And so it's up for, they call it, it's up for a review is what they call it. I think it's, I'm not sure, like another 10 years or so, or 15 years yet, but they have a built-in review every so often, and you can renew it for another period of time in those. And so what it is they're reviewing it. So last week, for example, our team was in Mexico with the U.S. trade representatives and working on that process, and we're advocating, and people say, well, what do you want? What do you want? And we say, keep it exactly the same. It's been a great agreement for the pork industry. We've been able to meet that demand that Mexico has for additional pork, and as they've increased their income, it's like in any society, the first thing that people do when their disposable income gets high enough, they like to add protein to their market, and we're fortunate that the Mexican people love pork. So we definitely we're advocating on behalf of the pork industry to.
And would that be the same as Canada? You'd like to keep the same agreement?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely, be the same thing. We have a close relationship with Canada and trade, and so I'm talking about Mexico because it's a higher percentage of our exports, but at the same time we have a great relationship. We trade not only meat but also live animals. It's more common for Canada to have like wean pigs and those kind of things coming to the U.S. and as a market. There are market animals as well, but so we have a great relationship and want that to continue with our friends to the north.
Yeah. Anything else you want to talk about? Anything?
I mean, a lot. Yeah, I think that's good.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah,
Pat. That's